Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Let's talk Louis Vuitton, shall we? Louis Vuitton on the radar. I wanted to come on here and share some eye candy of some of the things that have caught my eye from the brand, but I wanted to give you my thoughts on them and maybe some reasons why I have reservations to add them to the collection. So if you enjoy it, make sure and give it a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's get started, shall we? All right, so first up, this bag has been on my brain for the last 2 weeks, and I have a new appreciation for it, and that is the Louis Vuitton City Steamer. All right, so I'm not gonna talk about this bag too much because I know I've been giving you an earful for the last 2 weeks, but I am just like drooling over this bag. I love the silhouette, I love the structure, it's versatile, it's a tote. I know some people find it to be a little overwhelming, especially the size because it is a larger handbag, but I mean, just the details, the craftsmanship of the leather is just gorgeous. There are some versions of it that I find to be a little too busy, but this one, I like the simplicity of it. I think that simplicity always speaks volumes, at least for me anyways, but it is incredible. So, I mean, it's this big tote, and the fact that I can fit everything in there makes it even better. You guys know how I am. So the City Steamer and the size is definitely on the radar. Now this bag has been on my radar since earlier this year when we were in Las Vegas, when I really got an opportunity to be able to play around with it and see how it ends up working on my body frame. But I think it is gorgeous. And even though, as I just mentioned, I really like totes, there is just something about this bag that I'm extremely attracted to. I like the fact that it kind of reminds me of a bag from like the 1940s. It's a top handle bag, but it has a very, very classic silhouette in my opinion. It does come with a strap, so it makes it a little bit more versatile. But I will have to say, I'm not a big fan of the strap that it comes with. You have the two-tone leather, and that to me makes it really busy. I really wish it came with the option to not have that strap, or to maybe have one that's all leather, that's all the vachetta instead of having that two-tone fuchsia. And at first I thought about going for the Clooney but it's a little bit larger. I think that the BB is a perfect size. And another thing is that the BB size only has the fuchsia colored interior, if I'm not mistaken. So that's another thing that I really wish it was available in either the beige microfiber or even the dark microfiber lining, just because I do like the color pink, but I don't know. I'm kind of like 50-50 on the interior of it, but the bag is just beautiful. It's very structured. The silhouette, like I said, is a very, very classic design, and I sincerely think that this just might be my next Louis Vuitton bag, because between that one and the City Steamer that I just showed you guys, I kind of go back and forth, but there's just something about this one that I really appreciate, maybe a little bit more than that City Steamer. I don't know. All right, so I know what you're thinking. I just finished saying that I like simple handbags, right? Simplicity speaks volumes. And the Manhattan ends up being a little bit busier. It is the revamped version, and back in the day when they had the bag, I really liked it. And when they reintroduced it, I was like, I don't know, it's not really for me. It is a little too busy. It has a whole lot of buckles. It has a whole lot of hardware. They did make it a little bit more versatile because it does have that strap, you know, but now it's like one of those things that the more and more that I see it, I'm like, okay, all right, I kind of really like it, you know? I will have to say that one thing that kind of hinders me from wanting to add it to my collection, even though I do like it, is the opening. I find the opening to be a little too fussy. And it's one of those things that if it's really fussy, then it kind of takes away the joy from being able to enjoy it. Not only that, if you have to retrieve your items, you know, at a moment's notice or what have you, I don't necessarily like to go for too fussy of a handbag. I like something that's very easy to open, or something that I can see everything at a glance. I appreciate it a little bit more, but nonetheless, you know, I know it's busy, but there's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it kind of looks like a doctor satchel. I have no idea, all right? But all I know is that it's on the radar. So the Manhattan has definitely caught my eye. Now this Lock Me tote is newer to the radar, so I will admit I haven't done too much research on it, but so far I like the fact that it's a tote. I like the fact that it's all leather and it's also very lightweight, so it won't end up, you know, being like you're carrying a brick on your shoulder or anything like that. It's very, very spacious, and I also appreciate the fact that it does have that Lock Me feature in the middle of the bag, so that way it gives you a little bit more security, even though it is an open tote. So I think that's really nice. But yeah, it's still very simple. I think that it's very elegant, and it's not too, you know, it's not too busy either. So with this one, I will definitely do a little bit more research, and I'm really curious to see how it would wear over time, you know, because even though it is somewhat structured, kind of like the Neverfull, I wonder if over time, the more and more that you use it, or the more items that you end up fitting inside, if it ends up losing its structure, or if it gets like those wrinkles really bad on the sides. So that's the only thing that I'm curious as to how it'll wear. I've always been such a big fan of the Deauville, and even though I really appreciate how they revamped it, they made it a little bit bigger so that way you can end up fitting more items inside. They made it a little bit more spacious. I think for this one, I might end up going the pre-love route because I personally prefer the older silhouette to this one, and you can still get away with carrying, you know, everything and the kitchen sink in there. But I really like it. I think it's a really nice piece that you can either use for travel. I know some people end up using it as a handbag, which I think is great because it does have a lot of organization on the interior. You know, even though I do like totes and I appreciate the versatility of certain bags, the fact that this one's just a top handle bag I think is really nice. So like I said, I've had this bag on my radar for a while, and even though I do like the new style, I prefer the old silhouette, and by going through the pre-loved market, I can end up saving a little bit of money, and anytime I can save any money on any luxury good, I am all about that. You know what I mean? Because if you end up going to the boutique, they retail for the new one, I do believe they retail for like $1,700, and by going on the pre-love market for the old silhouette, they range anywhere from like $495 to $695. Of course, it depends on the condition that they are, but yeah, Deauville, I'm coming for you. A long sigh and many, many daydreams when it comes to this beauty case. Listen, I know that it's on the radar. Am I gonna add it to my collection anytime soon? Probably not, but you know what? A girl can dream. A girl can dream. This beauty case is insanely gorgeous, my goodness. Everything that I love about Louis Vuitton is on one piece. You have 3 different colors to choose from. You can either go for the beige microfiber, you can go for the cherry or the fuchsia, if I'm not mistaken, but it's just beautiful. Could I get away with using it as a handbag? Probably not. It's a little bit bulky. You know, I'm sure some people have used it as handbags, but I don't know. I just think it is beautiful, and it's one of those things that, like, even if I did have it, where the heck am I going to use it if I didn't use it as a handbag? You know, it ended up sitting on my shelf, but it would be very, very pretty to look at. So it's one of those things that as much as I would want to add it to my collection, I don't think I'd be able to do it justice type of thing, because that is the type of item, in my opinion, that needs to be out there for the world to see. You know what I'm saying? This is such a beautiful piece of luggage, especially in the monogram eclipse. At first I was thinking about the monogram, and then I was thinking about the Damier Ebene, but there's just something about the eclipse that always ends up drawing me in. I really wish that the Horizon 50 had this print available, but it's only in the 55, but I think that it's great regardless. Now when it comes to hard-sided luggage, there's a couple things that go through my mind that kind of hinder me from wanting to add more luggage pieces to my collection, which makes no sense considering that I do have soft-sided luggage with the keep balls that I've used for travel and had no issues with. But one of the things that comes up is wear and tear. I think that wear and tear is inevitable when it comes to any type of travel piece, and it's one of those things that you just have to put in the back of your mind. It is what it is, and to be able to enjoy the item. But sometimes I feel that with hard-sided luggage, you'll be able to see the scratches or the scuffs a little bit easier than you would in the soft-sided luggage. I don't know. Maybe it's my own craziness that I'm thinking this. I have no idea. But that's just something that goes through my mind, you know? It's not like I can put it in this bubble. And yes, I know that you can end up getting the the protective cover for it. It's an extra fee, but still, it's like in the event that, you know, it has to go underneath or whatever the case may be, it'll end up getting scratches no matter what. You know, people aren't going to care for your luggage pieces as well as you would, type of thing, you know? So it's like, just put it aside and use it, you know? Even though I know this, even though I'm telling you this, it's like half of my brain is like, no, I want to keep it. I want to keep it in this bubble. I don't want anything to happen to it. So I don't know, maybe it's the craziness, as I mentioned before. And the other thing that I think about is that whenever we travel, I try to be as inconspicuous as possible with whichever handbag I choose to use. You know what I mean? I don't want to attract any type of attention. I mean, 99% of the time I'm using my Chanel wallet on chain. And even then I like to put it, you know, backwards so you don't see the logo. I like to put it underneath my jacket or underneath my coat so I don't have that attention, you know. And don't get me wrong, I'm a very, very positive person and I like to see the good in everything. But sometimes I do get that uneasy feeling, you know. And since I love my keep all so much and I use them so often, sometimes I feel like if I have my keep all and I have, you know, the luggage, or if I have something else, I don't want to necessarily attract that much attention to it. I try to be a little bit more, I guess, cautious of my surroundings. But even with the luggage that I have now, I mean, it's bright pink because it makes it easier for me to find it, you know, in the multitude of black luggage. So I guess really what I'm asking myself is if it's too much, type of thing, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to have that uneasy feeling. I want to be able to enjoy them, and I don't foresee myself not using my keep-alls because I love them. I think that they're wonderful travel pieces, you know, but I don't want to necessarily attract that much attention either, you know? So I have no idea. Like I said, I don't know if any of this makes sense, but those are some of the things that go through my mind. But the Horizon is beautiful. It's lightweight, especially in comparison to some of the other luggage pieces that the fashion house has. And in that monogram eclipse, oh man, in that monogram eclipse, it is just jaw-droppingly gorgeous. I'll be honest with you, these business card holders remind me of the clays that are no longer in my collection, all right? I'm just gonna throw that out there because we all know we're thinking that, right? But these business card holders, I think that they're great. I like the fact that you have two different colors to choose from. You have the noir and you also have the cherry. They're slender, but you can end up fitting them inside of your smaller handbags, no problem. They don't end up taking too much space. And of course, you can end up fitting them inside of your larger handbags as well. And you have that beautiful empreinte leather, and you have 2 credit card slots, and you can still end up getting away with carrying, I think it was 20 cards that I was able to fit in there, no problem. It can get a little bit bulky if you end up putting cash in there or bills in there on top of your credit cards. So for me, I would just end up using it strictly for cards. But I think that they're beautiful, you know, and the empreinte leather I think wears very, very nicely. When I used to use my clays as little wallets, there was always a time when I thought that maybe the embossing would end up kind of like flattening out, or it ended up wearing really badly. But much to my surprise, the embossing ended up staying, you know, very, very prominent, and it didn't end up flattening out or anything like that. So I imagine the same thing would end up happening with this business card holder. But I think that they're beautiful, and yes, like I said, I might be replacing my clays with these, but they were on the radar, and now they are officially on the wish list. So these business card holders are fantastic. I think this is such a cute small leather good, and I've had it on my radar for a while. It hasn't necessarily been added to the wish list. I kind of go back and forth with it, but at the moment it is not on the wish list. But I really like the combination of the monogram with the rose ballerine. I think it's beautiful, but I also really love that fuchsia, that hot pink, you know, fuchsia up against the monogram. I think looks amazing. You know, and the fact that you can use it as a coin purse, the fact that you can use it as a little mini wallet, and you can still end up carrying a little bit more with you, I think is great. It's also kind of like the business card holder that if you end up putting coins and bills in there and credit cards, it can make it be a little too bulky. So it's one of those things as well that I would end up using strictly for cards, or maybe just for bills, you know, and the rare chance that I carry cash with me. But I don't know. I think it's so adorable, and I'll be sitting at the counter. I'm like, should I get it? Should I not get it? Should I get it? Should I not get it? And I feel like it's one of those things that when I can't make up my mind, or when I'm that indecisive, I think that's my gut instinct saying, okay, don't get it, don't get it, you know, because I do have, I have another small leather good that I can use exactly the same way. Of course it won't be fuchsia, and of course I won't have the monogram, but still, you know, so I asked myself, am I getting it just to get it, or am I getting it because I'll end up using it type of thing? I know that might sound silly to some of you guys, but in all reality, that's how I am. The fact that I don't want to add things just because. So as beautiful as it is still on the radar, you know, like I said, it goes back and forth, but I think it is an incredible, incredible small leather good, and it's very, very versatile, and you guys know how I feel about versatility. And if I didn't have the Chanel O-Zip coin purse or the clays, I would absolutely hands down go for the Rosalie coin purse, because I think it's such a great small leather good and very, very versatile, as I mentioned previously. All right, you guys, so that does it for the Louis Vuitton on the radar, the Louis Vuitton wish list kind of thing, if you will. I don't know. Like I said, some of them go on there and some of them come off. But I would love to hear your guys' opinion on any of these items. If you have them, do you recommend them? Do you think they're great? Would you advise me not to get them because of the X, Y, and Z or what have you? Let me know. It's all about sharing information. And I would also love to know what are some of the things that are on your radar from Louis Vuitton. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button down below and hitting that bell so you're notified when I upload videos, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. And I'll see you guys later. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day.